What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around. You don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now, let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer seems incredibly satisfied with this ultrawide monitor, mentioning that it was the result of a lot of research to find the perfect fit. They were looking for something with a sleek, professional appearance, as many alternatives in its class are heavily styled for gamers, which wasn't the look they wanted. While initially considering a 4K display, our reviewer found most options to be prohibitively expensive, which eventually led them to this particular model. Though initially a little nervous about the resolution, this client found it to be a massive step up from their old 1080p setup. The sheer size of the screen is described as a real game changer for productivity, allowing for a seamless side-by-side window experience for school and work. Our reviewer finds this single display solution much cleaner and more efficient than the dual monitor setup they use at their job, thanks to fewer cables and less power consumption. One of the standout features was the effortless setup. Upon connecting the display, it calibrated itself perfectly right out of the box, with ideal color and aspect ratio settings. This was a welcome change from the hours spent tweaking other screens they've owned. The image quality itself is described as fantastic and clear, with impressive brightness. While it's not meant to compete with ultra-high-density displays like an IMAX Retina screen, it's more than satisfying as a primary monitor, making high-resolution backgrounds look awesome. The physical design also earned high praise for its conservative, luxury-like aesthetic, which looks equally at home in an office or a living space. This client appreciates that it avoids the cheesy look of many gaming-focused displays, comparing its style to a refined sedan versus a flashy sports car. Finally, they were pleasantly surprised to find that it came with a generous assortment of cables, making it ready to go immediately.
Let's start by delving into the insights shared by our first reviewer.
This reviewer purchased this monitor primarily for its built-in KVM switch, as it was their first experience with both an ultrawide and a curved display. The initial impressions were a mixed bag. Our reviewer found the size to be a reasonable substitute for a dual-screen setup, though it is noticeably smaller than two traditional full HD monitors. The curve felt a bit strange at first, but became completely unnoticeable after just a day of use. The main source of frustration, however, was the very feature that prompted the purchase. The KVM used to switch between a Mac and a PC was extremely unreliable. Switching inputs was always a gamble, with the display frequently failing to find a signal, particularly if one of the computers was just waking from sleep. At its worst, the process could cause the entire monitor to freeze, leaving both the control joystick and the power button completely unresponsive. The only fix was to physically unplug the unit to force a reboot, pointing to significant issues in the device's firmware. Fortunately, a more recent firmware update has since corrected these critical problems. This client reports that the KVM functionality is now stable and works as expected. With that major headache resolved, only one minor quibble remains. While this monitor can accept video from 3 separate inputs, the KVM can only share peripherals between 2 devices. This is due to a limitation in the number of upstream connections available. So, for anyone hoping to control 3 different machines with a single keyboard and mouse, this display can only handle 2. Despite this small design limitation, the crucial software fix transformed the user experience from deeply frustrating to highly satisfactory.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer is ultimately happy with this ultrawide monitor, despite a few initial hiccups. Even though our reviewer can't currently utilize its maximum resolution due to older hardware, the picture quality remains impressive. Usually, reducing a monitor's resolution below its native setting results in a grainy image, but this isn't the case here. While not as sharp at a lower resolution, it's still perfectly acceptable. Initially, this client experienced a significant issue with a jumpy mouse cursor. After extensive troubleshooting and a fruitless search for solutions online, the reviewer discovered that the graphics card was incorrectly identifying this display as a television. This meant the refresh rate was defaulting to an abysmal 24Hz. Switching the input setting to monitor mode improved things, raising the refresh rate somewhat, but the mouse remained choppy. Only by dropping the resolution lower did the refresh rate reach a smooth 60Hz, resolving the mouse issue entirely. Consequently, our reviewer recognizes the need for a hardware upgrade to fully appreciate the monitor's potential. However, they feel that a more appropriate default profile, correctly identifying the display as a monitor rather than a television, would greatly benefit new users and prevent similar issues. Hopefully, either the manufacturer of this monitor, the graphics card vendor, or the operating system developer will address this oversight in the future.
That's it for today's review. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.